You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the NBL Live pregame show, and that's brought to you each and every week by our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do our overlays here on NBL Live, a ton of other graphics across the entire network. So if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to Web3KS.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with our first-time NBL Live commentator, Kyle, the Flat Killer, Matt Miller, hanging out with us today to bring you some Week 8 action. And boy, do we have a great game on tap for you today, folks. It is a rematch of the Season 25 Super Bowl between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. What a game to have in Week 8 of the NBL season. We are super excited. Before we get to the game, though, let's talk about what's coming up this week on the network. And, of course, tomorrow night, that is Friday, we'll be having a live edition of the Commissioner Corners podcast. Head over to our Twitter, @BomberLeague. When that time gets announced, they'll post it there. It'll be 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Kyle, I know you've watched a lot of these Commissioner Corners podcasts. It's a lot of fun because it's not only a live show, but Bomber and Lip, the hosts of these guys, the two guys who are playing in this game tonight, they do a great job of interacting with the audience. It's something you don't want to miss.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And they have a great segment on that Commissioner's podcast, Commissioner's Corner, where they do a 3 and out, where they take a member of NBL Live and have them compete in a trivia kind of questionnaire. If they get high on the list, they get a shot at taking on Lip in the boss battle.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to be on that particular segment, and it is not easy, I'll tell you, folks. Don't know if they're going to be doing 3 and out tomorrow night. We will find out. You're just going to have to tune in to watch. All right, we could talk about other stuff that's going on in the league, and there's a lot of fun stuff happening right now, but I know what everyone is interested in. It is this game we have today. It is the Steelers and the Lions. Let's look at some players to watch. First, on the side of the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, the only undefeated team left in the NBL. And Kyle, the first guy to talk about, the only guy that really matters right now is Ben Roethlisberger. What a season this guy is having. Over 1,700 yards passing, a quarterback rating of 138.8, and that's not in one game. That is over these 7 games, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Roethlisberger is what makes this team go. Do you expect him to have this continued success through the season, or are we just waiting for Ben Roethlisberger to come back down to earth?
As long as Big Ben stays healthy, I expect him to post an average of 300 yards passing and at least 3 touchdowns a game. I don't see any reason why it's going to stop tonight. He might throw a pick or two against a very good Lions, very underrated Lions defense, but I expect him to continue that success.
Yeah, and on the flip side, let's look at the other starting quarterback in this course, Matthew Stafford. He, not to be overshadowed, the numbers that Big Ben's putting up is absolutely ridiculous, but in terms of Matt Stafford, he's completing 71% of his passes. He has more yards than Big Ben, 1,791 passing yards, quarterback rating of 112.7, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. The one thing that Matt Stafford has, Kyle, is that loss on his record. They lost to the Carolina Panthers in a game that Matt Stafford was a little careless with the ball. We saw a couple interceptions thrown. We saw a fumble by Eric Ebron against a Panthers team that is very good. The Steelers in the past have not been a strong defense. Do you expect Matt Stafford to have success today? Are we looking at a shootout between the two teams that participated in the Season 25 Super Bowl?
Well, you know what, OSU, the one Achilles heel the Lions have, if they have any, has been their run defense, has been a bend and break defense that usually can give up a big play or two on the run game. And the ownership in Carolina, the Carolina Panthers, focused on the run game, and they took advantage of that. I don't see that happening tonight with the Steelers, as they're a pass-first team, but you never know. They do have a very good running back.
We're about ready to send it out for the game, folks. A rematch of the Season 25 Super Bowl. This is an awesome game to have here in Week 8 of the NBL season. Kyle, it's your first time on the program. We got to get your prediction before we get out to the game. Who do you like in this one? Are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to exact a little revenge on the Lions and get a win here in Week 8? Or are the Detroit Lions going to repeat their Super Bowl success, get a big win here, and hand the Pittsburgh Steelers their first loss of the season?
Well, the last time these two teams met was in Super Bowl, the season 25 of NBL. And I actually went with the Steelers because they were a dominant force to be reckoned with. They're the same this year, but I'm not going to be fooled twice, and I'm going with Detroit.
Kyle picking the Detroit Lions. I know Bomber would be very happy to hear that in your first episode of NBL Live, you went with the Lions. There's only one way to find out, folks, what's going to happen in this game. We got to send it down to the field. Coming up right now, it's a rematch of the season 25 Super Bowl between two of the most prestigious franchises in the NBL. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions, and it's coming up right now here on NBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Jake Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network.
And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks. Who catches it? Makes a man miss.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow. That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. And boy, folks, do we have a treat for you today here on NBL Live broadcast number 124. It's Week 8 action between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. Steelers, the last remaining undefeated team, sitting there at 7-0 atop the AFC North. The Detroit Lions at 5-1 atop the NFC North. Appreciate everybody tuning into today's game. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Kyle, the Flat Killer, Matt Miller. And Kyle, you got a treat in your first NBL Live broadcast. You get to watch two of the most prestigious franchises in the NBL go head-to-head in a battle for really what's a little bit of bragging rights early in the Madden 18 cycle. Is there a player on either team? We talked about Stafford and we talked about Big Ben. Is there a player on either team that you're going to be watching today that could have a huge impact on the game?
Yeah, indeed. I'm watching that front seven for Detroit, and if Ezekiel Ansah gets pressure and can force Ben Roethlisberger to make some bad throws, I think that can definitely change the game. Whereas with Pittsburgh, Antonio Brown, he's a man among boys on that field, and I expect him to take advantage of every matchup they throw at him.
Yeah, Pittsburgh must be so hard to defend in the passing game. You got Antonio Brown on one side. You leave him open. You got Martavis Bryant on the other side. Two very good wide receivers for Pittsburgh. Detroit's going to have their handful as the Lions are actually going to get the ball first to start this game as we are underway in Detroit. The home crowd here in Detroit still pumped after that season 25 Super Bowl and looking to see more success from the Lions that continue to be one of the top franchises here in the NBL. They seem to be at the top every year and seem to be one of those teams that people aim to not only be like, but aim to beat, especially around playoff time. And here in Week 8, we got a great matchup between the Steelers and the Lions as we await the Detroit Lions to pick their play and come out of the huddle. A lot of confusion. We're early in this game, and they're using the majority of the play clock, figuring out what they want to start with. Kyle, the Lions coming off a loss to the Steelers the last time they saw them in the Super Bowl. Is there a chance the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the Detroit Lions' heads?
I think so. I think they're coming off a win in the Super Bowl against the Steelers. I think this game they're going to have a complete different game plan than we've seen before. Expect a run-heavy offense by Lip.
Pass over to the left side. It is caught by Marvin Jones in between two defenders. Boy, that's one of those throws, Kyle, we see all the time. Less experienced, less talented quarterbacks make in that zone defense, trying to fit it between the over top and the underneath coverage. Matt Stafford does that so well. He gets 25 yards on the first play.
Yeah, few quarterbacks can make a throw like that or would even dare to, but Matt Stafford is definitely one of them.
And now a first down for the Lions. They're already at the midfield marker. Just shy of it, we'll call him at the 49-yard line. Stafford breaking the huddle. He's got two wide receivers now going over to the right side of the field. Excuse me, that Golden Tate alone on the right side. Three tight ends. And Theo Riddick in at halfback. This rushing attack for Detroit has not been very good to start the year. Excuse me, that's Amir Abdullah now into the game at halfback. He takes care of 2 yards. If there's one thing the Lions do so well, Kyle, it's moving the ball, but rushing has never been their strength, and that is no different this year.
No, that's for sure. But when they do decide to run the ball, they're surprisingly effective, but the offense seems to favor the arm of Matt Stafford. So I'm wondering if maybe they'll try a different approach as well tonight and focus on the run game.
Stafford comes out under center, 3 wide receivers, 1 over to the left, 2 over to the right side, and 1 in the backfield as Matt Stafford switches up the plays and drop back to pass here on 2nd and 8. Looking, he's got a lot of time. He just gets the ball off, and that's a dangerous throw into coverage. We have an injury on the play. We'll let you know who and what that injury is when we find out. Kyle, rarity here on NBL Live. The Steelers and the Lions completely clean injury reports, both of them coming in healthy to this game.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet with the hard-hitting defenses on both sides, that's not going to be the same on the end of this game.
Yeah, they're definitely love to lay those big hits, and now Detroit has a huge 3rd down opportunity here, needing to convert. He's got 3 wide receivers, 1 over to the left, 2 to the right. Eric Ebron on the right side of that formation. Theo Riddick into the game at halfback. Stafford dropping back to pass here on 3rd and 8. He looks over the middle of the field for Eric Ebron, and Ebron cannot hang on to the ball. He took a big hit as he caught that in between the hash marks. And the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, a weakness in Season 25 and Season 26. They're a top 10 defense. Not very good against the pass, though. They're bottom 5 against the pass, but on that play, they're able to pry the ball free from one of Matt Stafford's favorite targets, Eric Ebron.
Yeah, Eric Ebron being one of the better tight ends in the NBL, he's got to come up with that catch.
The punt is away. This one's going to go into the end zone for a touchback, and now we get to see Ben Roethlisberger and the #1 offense in the NBL. As we're getting word, it is Rick Wagner, the right tackle of the Detroit Lions. And Kyle, they're saying x-rays are positive. It's a foot fracture. That's going to take him out for a couple of weeks. That's a big loss on that Detroit Lions offensive line.
Yeah, a couple of weeks at least. The offensive lineman has a lot of pressure on their lower body, so that's going to silence, I'm guessing, a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, and that's a big loss for a Lions team that wants to protect Matt Stafford, wants to stay atop the very competitive NFC North. I formation on 1st and 10. It's going to be handoff to Le'Veon Bell over the left side. He's got a lot of room. He's got the first down, and he shakes off a tackler, and he's got a lot of room. He's to the 40, to the 30. Nobody is catching Le'Veon Bell. Touchdown, Steelers, and a disastrous start for the Detroit Lions defense as they give up the 80-yard touchdown to Le'Veon Bell.
What a run, and that's exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the game. The one Achilles heel of this bend and don't break Detroit defense is the run defense.
They definitely broke there. There was no bending on that particular play. Le'Veon Bell houses it. Took one play, and Pittsburgh has a 7-0 lead. And the Detroit Lions are trying to stay ahead of this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They won in the Season 25 Super Bowl, but Pittsburgh has been one of those teams, one of the few teams that the Lions have struggled against, especially in the last cycle. And early in this game, Pittsburgh with a huge touchdown. What could that do for Detroit's confidence?
That's got to put a big shot on it, knowing that they're going to attack that run game, and they got to start focusing in on it. And being the arm of Ben Roethlisberger as good as it is, you know he's going to take some shots when they bring that defense up. Yeah,
that arm is well rested, though, early in this game as Le'Veon Bell housing the first play from scrimmage for the Steelers. They're up 7-0 early in this game. As on 1st and 10, Matt Stafford has 4 wide receivers. He's dropping back to pass here on 1st down. Looking over to the left side, and a diving catch by Golden Tate. Down to the 42-yard line. Now Detroit using that hurry-up offense to keep the Pittsburgh Steelers defense on its heels. You know, Matt Stafford doesn't like coming away with no points after drive. Sure, he was frustrated after that first drive ended in a punt. Stafford once again with those 4 wide receivers. He's got Theo Riddick in the backfield, and Stafford dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. Looking, and down goes Stafford. The first sack of the day. It is to it into the backfield. A 4-yard loss. And Kyle, that was just one of the instances where the Pittsburgh Steelers defense had everybody covered.
Yeah, the hurry up this early in the game tells me the Lions are looking to answer back quick and hard, and with the defense covering everyone on the field, Stafford took the sack. Smart play.
And now a 2nd and 14 for the Detroit Lions. Again, this Lions team is a pass-heavy attack. They have been for years. They love putting in Matt Stafford's hand and letting him throw it around. They do not run the ball a lot. That's why they're one of the worst rushing teams in the NBL. On 2nd and 14, Stafford in the pocket. He's looking deep over the middle for Golden Tate, who takes a big hit and holds on to the ball at the 38-yard line. Kyle, how important is Golden Tate to this offense with the chemistry that he has with Matt Stafford?
Golden Tate is Matt Stafford's safety valve. When he needs a big play, a big catch, that's what he usually looks to.
A 1st and 10 now for the Lions. They moved into enemy territory. They're on the 38-yard line. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 to the left, and Eric Ebron on the right side of that formation. Theo Riddick in the game at halfback as Matt Stafford is in the pistol. He's going to be dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. He's looking deep down the left side, looking for Golden Tate. Tate not able to come up with a catch there. There's some great defense on the outside as it was one-on-one coverage. And I believe that was Ross Cockrell able to get his hand in there and bat that one away from Golden Tate. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Lions come out of the huddle. They got 4 wide receivers, 3 over to the right side. Golden Tate alone on the left. Theo Riddick in the backfield here on 2nd down. Ball on the 38-yard line. Watch out for Kenny Golladay in the slot. He has been big for the Lions early in this season. And just on cue, he throws it to Golladay, and Golladay gets absolutely obliterated at the 20-yard line. Unable to come up with that catch. And the Pittsburgh Steelers defense welcomes the rookie Golladay to the NFL with that big hit. Kyle, I don't know how many more catches Golladay is going to want to have to make in traffic. The Detroit Lions now have a 3rd and 10 to convert with 3:07 to go. Ball is on the 38-yard line. 2 straight plays where Matt Stafford tried to get his wide receiver to make a play, and 2 straight plays where the wide receiver was unable to come up with that one. The last one, though, not so much Galladay's fault as it looks like Caldwell is going to take a timeout here. A huge 3rd down opportunity. Another opportunity for Pittsburgh to come up with a stop against one of the best offenses here in the NBL. As it looks like he's going to come out 4 wide receivers, 3 over to the right side, Tate alone on the left side, Amir Abdullah into the game for 3rd down, ball on the 38-yard line. Stafford changing up the play as he surveys the Steelers defense. Stafford dropping back to pass here on 3rd down, looks over to the right side. It is intercepted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's got a convoy, and I don't think anybody on the Steelers is going to have to block anyone. The Lions completely out of position, and it's a defensive touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who open up a 13-0 lead here on NBL Live. What a touchdown by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The defense coming up big on that play, and they extend their lead to 14-0 here on the road. What a job by the Steelers defense, able to get a rare defensive touchdown given up by Matt Stafford. We showed you those stats in the pregame. 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year. He has had the propensity at times to get a little loose with the ball, and right there he throws his 8th interception on the year, and it's disastrous as Pittsburgh's able to get 7 points from the defensive side of the ball. Now Detroit's going to have to dig themselves out of a hole. Not the start the Lions wanted here at home, as we now have a 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions. 2 wide receivers, Tate on the left side, Jones on the right side, Abdullah into the backfield. As on 1st down, it's going to be a handoff to Amir Abdullah, and this rushing attack, a little trouble getting going. The 25th rushing attack here in the NBL. He is only able to get 2 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. And now a 2nd and 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 wide receivers out there, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Eric Ebron on the right side of that formation. Theo Riddick into the game. Matt Stafford dropping back to pass here on 2nd and 8. He's looking over the middle. It is Marvin Jones Jr. with a big catch at the 40-yard line. It's another 1st down for the Detroit Lions. The Lions moving down the field, needing to answer the Pittsburgh Steelers, as Pittsburgh 2 early touchdowns in this game. 14-0. Pittsburgh on top of this Detroit offense. Uncharacteristically, hasn't been able to really do anything once they've gotten into enemy territory. They've had to punt the ball once, and Pittsburgh was able to pick off Matt Stafford as they were on the 38-yard line. Stafford handing the ball off on 1st and 10. Theo Riddick trying to get around the edge. He cannot. Goes down for a 1-yard gain. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 for the Detroit Lions. $14-0 Pittsburgh on top. Detroit continuing this drive as they now have a 2nd and 9 with 1:47 to go here in the 1st quarter. Matt Stafford dropping back to pass on second down, looking. Pressure comes out the middle, ball's on the ground, it's fumbled, it's recovered by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and more disaster as Cam Hayward able to come up with that fumble. Now great field position for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and another turnover for the Detroit Lions, their second of the first quarter.
Another turnover. What a horrible start for this Detroit offense.
Yeah, you can't have turnovers against this Pittsburgh Steelers team that loves to capitalize on those turnovers. 1st and 10, it's a handoff to Le'Veon Bell. And Kyle, Le'Veon must be disappointed after that 2-yard run as his first one went for 80. This one a little less, going to bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, he's a little disappointed, but no harm, no foul. He's going to be taking a lot more of those carries and probably break another one.
2nd and 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great field position on the 34-yard line after the Matt Stafford fumble. His second turnover of the first quarter. Pittsburgh up 14-0. Looking to turn this one into a rout as they have great field position. Shotgun formation for Ben Roethlisberger. As on 2nd and 8, he's going to hand it to Le'Veon Bell. Huge hole up the middle. He has a lot of room, runs into his own blocker, and goes down to the 21-yard line. He had an opportunity to house that one, but it's going to be a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, Kyle, they have yet to throw the ball in this game.
And why would you throw the ball with the offensive line making holes like that?
Yeah, what a job by this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line opening up holes for the very talented Le'Veon Bell, who has proved over and over that he doesn't need a whole lot of room to make something happen. Roethlisberger and Bell in the shotgun formation. 4 wide receivers, 3 over the right, 1 to the left, as the Steelers surveying this Detroit Lions defense, needing a stop badly as Roethlisberger. He's going to toss this over to the left side. Oh, and he overthrows Antonio Brown. He had him wide open. Brown had the room on the left side of the field, but just couldn't hook up there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, rare overthrow from Ben Roethlisberger, just inches away from another touchdown.
A 2nd and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ball on the 21-yard line. 4 wide receivers once again. 3 over to the right. Antonio Brown on the left side of that formation is on 2nd down. They're going to hand it to Le'Veon Bell. Why not? Bell's been so good early in this game. He gets another 3 yards. 4 carries, 98 yards to start this game. Kyle, I think if you're Le'Veon Bell, you're pretty happy how this game has started.
Yeah, I'm not really a math whiz, but I'm pretty sure that's a good yards per carry.
We'll have to bring in a resident NBL math expert to break down that yards per carry average. Just under 25 for Le'Veon Bell to start this game. Only 4 carries. 3rd and 7 for Roethlisberger and the Steelers. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Bryant coming in motion. It's going to be Roethlisberger dropping back to pass here on 3rd and 7. He's going to look underneath. It is complete to Martavis Bryant, who has the first down. And as we reach the end of the first quarter, Pittsburgh up 14-0, knocking on the door once again. And Kyle, we saw it right there. That's what Martavis Bryant has lived on this year. He is so good underneath at not only catching the ball, but then doing work once the ball is in his hands. And that's why he has been a huge weapon for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, hats off to him and his quarterback for giving the ball in a position to make the first down.
1st and goal now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ball on the 4-yard line. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield, 2 wide receivers. It's going to be hand up to Bell right up the old gut, and Bell is going to muscle his way forward, and it's a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are exacting some much-needed revenge on the Detroit Lions. They're up 20-0 in this game, and we have barely gotten into the second quarter. The kick is up. It is good. It is 21-0 Pittsburgh. Kyle, what is going on in Detroit?
If I'm the Detroit head coach, I'm telling my players to stay calm, stay relaxed. We have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We are not out of this game yet. Keep a balanced offense, balanced approach, and don't panic.
Yeah, Detroit's going to need to find something here on this drive. 5:57 to go here in the second quarter. We appreciate everybody tuning in to MBL Live broadcast number 124. I'm OSU. I'm hanging with my man Kyle, the Flat Killer Matt Miller, as we watch this rematch of Season 25 Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers up 21-0 in this game. And it's all been by the big play so far. First play from scrimmage, Le'Veon Bell, 80 yards to the house. The Pittsburgh Steelers were then able to get a pick 6 off of Matt Stafford, a rarity from how talented Matt Stafford is in this Detroit Lions offense. Pick 6 to make it 14-0, and then a fumble by Matt Stafford turned into another 7 points. Le'Veon Bell gets his second touchdown today from 3 yards out, and that's where we are right now, 21-0 Pittsburgh on top of 1st and 15 for the Detroit Lions after that false start penalty. 5:57 to go here in the second quarter. Matt Stafford is under center. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 over to the right. Eric Ebron on the right side of that formation as well. Stafford drops back to pass here on 1st and 15. And he looks over to the corner route, and this one is, it looks like it's not going to be intercepted. Couldn't get his feet in bounds. And a big sigh of relief from the Detroit Lions faithful as the crowd has gone silent here, Kyle. Matt Stafford, a little dangerous with the ball here. He's already thrown one interception. He's fumbled it, and right there, he's lucky that wasn't his second.
I am impressed with this Pittsburgh secondary right now. Whether they run zone or man coverage, they are blanketing these Detroit receivers. Even on the receptions, they're right on top of it.
Matt Stafford throwing it deep over the left side. It's caught by Marvin Jones. Oh, and what a shoestring tackle to keep Marvin Jones from going to the house. A nice throw there by Matt Stafford. They move into enemy territory for the third time. Nice job there by Stafford, able to find Jones on the left side of the field for a first down. Now the Lions looking to have any sort of success as they're looking to just hold on to the ball and put some points on the board. Down 21 in the first half. Stafford drops back on first down, tosses it underneath to right. It is complete, and he has a first down up to the 36-yard line. Stafford 6 of 12, 120 yards to start this game, and that's a nice job there to make sure they get the first down and keep this drive going.
Yeah, first down on the drag route, a favorite route of mine, would you know, and Detroit Lions are moving the ball.
Yeah, Lions moving the ball, but we've seen this early in this game. The Lions have been able to move it down the field, but the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has done a good job at forcing some turnovers. A pick six, they had a fumble inside the inside Detroit's territory, and then of course when Detroit got into Pittsburgh's territory on the first drive, they were forced him into a punt. Stafford throws it over to the right side. It is complete to Marvin Jones. Tries to hurdle the defender, doesn't quite clear him, but he gets the first down to the 15-yard line. And Marvin Jones early in this game showing some great chemistry with Matt Stafford.
Yeah, Marvin Jones going for the highlight reel play there. Didn't quite pull it off, but it still looked pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool, I guess. You could put that on SportsCenter somewhere around number 9 or 10. It was a nice attempt at a hurdle. As Matt Stafford switching up the play now with two wide receivers over to the left, one to the right. And Theo Riddick into the game at halfback. They're in the red zone for the first time. Stafford, quick three-step drop. Blitz is coming. He gets it off to Golden Tate on the wide receiver screen.
Man.
Great blocking on the outside and into the end zone goes Golden Tate. And the crowd erupts as the Detroit Lions able to get points on the board. Kyle, what beautiful blocking on the outside to get Golden Tate into the end zone from 15 yards out.
And that's exactly what the Detroit Lions needed. They took advantage of the aggressive Pittsburgh defense, threw a short screen, and then the receiver did the rest.
21-7 now in the Detroit defense. The number 18 defense in the NBL going to need to stand tall and get a stop from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because at this point, they're already in a big hole. That was a huge touchdown. But they're going to need to get a stop and maybe a score before the half to stay comfortable in this game. They're down 14 to an offense so far that has really run rampant over them. Although it's been big plays. It was Le'Veon Bell for 80 yards and then a short field. Pittsburgh has not had to put on a sustained drive so far. And we'll see what Pittsburgh can do here on broadcast number 124 of NBL Live. We appreciate each and every one of you out there who have tuned into NBL Live. 21-7, Pittsburgh on top. Pittsburgh, the lone remaining undefeated team in the NBL. Detroit sitting there at 5-1. Shotgun formation for Ben Roethlisberger as he drops back to pass here on 1st and 10. And he looks down the seam, and what a catch on the right side. Oh boy, lucky there wasn't a horse collar tackle called there on Darius Slay. A huge catch down the seam, and it's a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and then Eric Ebron's got to be watching that and thinking the same, how did he catch that? Because he dropped almost an identical pass earlier in the game. Pittsburgh's just converting on those tough catches right now.
Yeah, and Ebron took much less of a hit when he dropped his ball. As on 1st and 10, it's a pass over to the left side. It is complete. And who else to come up with the catch but Antonio Brown? Kyle, Antonio Brown has been the number 1 receiver on this team. He can do it deep. He can do it short. He's really one of the best all-around wide receivers in the game.
And if you ask me, he's got to be the best receiver. There is not a single defensive back that can man up on him one-on-one in the league.
We know how much Detroit loves to play man defense, leave their cornerbacks out on an island, but that is dangerous with the likes of Brown and, of course, Martavis Bryant on the other side. As on 1st and 10, it's a shotgun formation for Ben Roethlisberger. He drops back to pass here on 1st down. Blitz comes, it's picked up beautifully. He tosses it underneath. It's a first down and more, up to the 20, past the 20 to about the 18-yard line. It's another first down as Eli Rogers is able to come up with that one. The blitz came up the middle, Kyle, and the Detroit Lions could not get through this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line.
You took the words out of my mouth. Credit that Pittsburgh offensive line on that gain, and the entire game so far. They're making holes for the running game and protecting their quarterback.
And all of a sudden, again, the Lions just kicked off to the Steelers. They're already inside the red zone at the 18-yard line. 3 wide receivers out there, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield with Ben Roethlisberger's dropping back to pass again on 1st and 10. And finally, some pressure from the Lions. Hyder able to get in the backfield and bring down Ben Roethlisberger for the first sack of the day for this Detroit Lions defense, who's going to look to get after the quarterback.
Yeah, just a great move there in a one-on-one matchup by the Detroit Lions defensive end, and they needed that play right there.
Yeah, that was a big play, but there's no time to rest, as we know how potent this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is and how quickly they can get into the end zone. Now a 2nd and long from the 24-yard line as we're nearing the 2-minute warning in the second quarter. Roethlisberger in the shotgun again with 3 wide receivers. Play action pass. Roethlisberger staying in the pocket, looks underneath. He finds Le'Veon Bell, sitting a little soft spot in the zone. He takes a big hit, holds onto the ball though, and gets to the 16-yard line. And Kyle, what a smart play there by Roethlisberger, not trying to do too much. Finds his running back underneath and gets it back to a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, he took what the defense gave him, but if you're Detroit, you got to be pretty pleased right now. You got a win situation, be holding this team to a field goal.
And now a 3rd and 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking to extend their lead. Roethlisberger drops back to pass on 3rd and 8. A free blitzer around the right side, and down goes Roethlisberger. The young rookie Tease Tabor gets a sack and brings down Ben Roethlisberger. A huge play on 3rd down as Detroit is able to force Pittsburgh into a field goal attempt.
Yeah, the young man makes a great play and forces this offensive juggernaut into a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and we were talking to the owner of the Detroit Lions, Bomber, off camera, and he's really excited about Tease Tabor, the young rookie coming into the secondary. He likes how he plays, not only in the pass game, but getting after the quarterback, and that sack was huge for the Detroit Lions, down 24-7 now, but an opportunity to put points on the board before the half, which they certainly need to do, as the Pittsburgh Steelers will get the ball to start the second half, and the Lions, 1:56 to go. What do you think they're going to do here on this last drive before the halftime marker?
Oh, they have plenty of time to drive down the field, assuming they take care of the ball and move it efficiently. I could see the Detroit Lions putting up another touchdown before the half right here.
24-7 Lions needing a score badly. 3 wide receivers, 1 over to the left, 2 to the right. Eric Ebron on the right side of that formation. Pistol formation for Matt Stafford as he drops back to pass. Looks over to the left side, tosses it underneath, and Eric Ebron, another drop. Is this a problem that we're going to see this season in the NBL, Kyle? Eric Ebron's always had that sort of aura around him that he is a little stone-handed. He finds a way to drop the big catches. He's been good for the Lions in the past, but early in this game, he's been not coming up with the clutch play.
Yeah, he's always been known to have a case of the occasional drop, but nothing like today. I think it's more mental than anything right now. He's got to get out of his funk and start catching the ball.
Yeah, he's going to need to help out his quarterback. His Stafford's in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Matt Stafford dropping back to pass here on 2nd and 10. He looks over the middle, and Eric Ebron comes up with that catch right on cue and into enemy territory down to the 49-yard line. The big tight end able to come up with a huge catch as the Lions move into enemy territory for the 3rd time.
And a great confidence builder, too, for the young tight end. He's looking to capitalize on those opportunities.
Is Eric Ebron still young? Are we still calling him a young tight end?
Well, this is, what, his 3rd year in the league now?
I guess he's young. It's weird to call him and Tease Tabor young. That's my problem. It's shotgun formation for Matt Stafford, 3 wide receivers. Once again, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. It's on 1st and 10. It's a play-action pass. Stafford rolling out to the left side. He's got a lot of time, but the pressure's coming. He's just going to have to chuck this one away. Nice job by Stafford recognizing the pressure, getting there, but could not find any of his receivers downfield. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
And nice job by that Pittsburgh's defense of pulling him up on that hit. That could have been a late hit penalty, but he held up and didn't lay the big hit.
Yeah, that's a smart play. Don't want to give up those 15-yard penalties on 2nd and 10. Riddick going in motion. They're looking for him on the little swing pass. Finding Theo Riddick. He's not going to get a whole lot on this one, maybe 5 yards on the play. And an interesting note there, Kyle, we saw early in the game when on that touchdown, some great blocking on the outside to get Golden Tate into the end zone. There, an opportunity maybe for a big play, but the blocking just wasn't there on the outside.
Yeah, but Theo Riddick took what the defense gave him there, and if he's not the best, he's one of the best pass-catching backs out of the field, and I expect more opportunities going to him in the passing game.
Yeah, Matt Stafford loves using his running back out of the backfield. Not a whole lot of running on this team. Is on 3rd and 6. He's going to find Theo Riddick again, and Riddick's near the marker. Let's see where they spot him with 49 seconds. They're going to give him the 1st down, and a big play there by Theo Riddick fighting for those extra yards.
And that was a questionable call that I for sure thought he didn't make it, but apparently the ref's seen enough to put him past the first down marker.
Kyle calling out the refs early in this game. 24-7 Pittsburgh on top. Detroit with the ball, though. 48 seconds to go in the second quarter. The Detroit Lions needing a score, down 24-7. Pittsburgh opened up a 21-0 lead early in this game thanks to an 80-yard touchdown run by Le'Veon Bell, another short touchdown run by Le'Veon Bell, and a pick six off of Matt Stafford, a rarity these days in Detroit. That's how Pittsburgh Steelers have this huge lead in the game, but they're looking to come back. You never know what will happen with these Detroit Lions. Stafford drops back to pass on 1st and 10, steps up in the pocket, looking deep over the middle. It is complete to Wright, who took a big hit as he caught it at the 12-yard line. It's a first down for the Lions. And Kyle, this is Matt Stafford to a T. He hasn't had a great first half. His completion percentage well below where he usually is, but he still has 200 yards passing.
And that's surprising coming from the backup tight end. That's a catch you'd expect from your starter, but maybe Eric Ebron needs to take a backseat in this one.
Handoff to Theo Riddick, who huge hole, and Theo Riddick dives into the end zone, and something I never thought I'd see on NBL Live, Kyle, the Detroit Lions with a rushing touchdown. They cut this to an 11-point lead as we await this extra point. Ball is down, kick is up, it is good, it's back to 24-14. We've got a ball game here, folks.
Yeah, Detroit comes to the line with Theo Riddick, their pass-catching running back, and Pittsburgh backs off, expecting the pass, and they run it up the middle, and Theo Riddick gets a rare rushing touchdown.
And that's one of those places where you know Detroit could be successful with how much they throw the ball. One of those little draw plays, those quick runs out of the shotgun where it looks like they're going to be passing it. If they can find a way to be successful on the ground, it adds a whole new dimension to their game. They've cut it to a 24-14 game here. 21 seconds to go. Not out of the realm of possibility that Pittsburgh puts points on the board, though, with 21 seconds and all 3 timeouts. 1st and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger going to break the huddle. 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end on the left side of that formation. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. 1st and 10. It's going to be a play-action pass. Roethlisberger looking. Flag is on the play. Look at deep. It's intercepted by Darius Slay, and he's got a little bit of room over there trying to get past the offensive player. That was Le'Veon Bell trying to make the tackle. Couldn't do it. Slay goes down. It's going to be a hold. And Kyle, what a turn of events in this game. Ben Roethlisberger did the one thing you couldn't do with so little time left in the first half. He turned the ball over, and Detroit has an opportunity to cut into this lead even more.
What a turn of events, and indeed, Detroit has a chance to put at least a field goal up here and break it to a 1 lead in the second half.
Yeah, you don't want this opportunity to go to waste if you're the Detroit Lions looking to go into half. Maybe down only 1 score. They're already in field goal range. 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Detroit has 1 timeout. Matt Stafford, 3 wide receivers. He drops back to pass on 1st and 10. Looking, he's got a lot of time in the pocket. Looking deep over the middle. It is caught by Golden Tate. He's down to the 4-yard line. 4 seconds to go. You're down 10. Do you think about going for it?
I think they're going for it.
Wow, Detroit, knowing that they need points, let's see what they decide to do. Nobody has come out on the field yet. It looks like the offense is getting ready to come out, though, with 4 seconds to go. Kyle, I don't think there's really time for 2 plays, is there, with 4 seconds left?
No, definitely not. But this early in the game, you can tell Detroit is playing to win. They're not playing to tie.
Especially down 24-14. 4 seconds to go in the second quarter, and Detroit sends the offense out there on the 4-yard line. They want to punch this one in for 7. Stafford drops back to pass on 1st and goal. He looks over the middle, and it's incomplete. 0 seconds on the clock, and Detroit gets no points out of that one. Oh, man, Kyle, do you like the gutsiness? Going for the 7 points instead of cutting it to a 1-score game.
I love the gutsiness, but I definitely would have kicked the field goal there. Now you're down by 2 scores to start the third quarter against a juggernaut offense. Not a good decision.
Man, oh man, the gamble does not pay off as Marvin Jones, he ran that route short of the goal line anyways. I don't know if he would have gotten in even if he caught the ball, but the Steelers able to pry that one free. And Ben Roethlisberger's got to be heaving a huge sigh of relief on the sidelines after throwing that interception with 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. 24-14, Pittsburgh on top. Kyle, what sort of defensive adjustments do you see from the Detroit Lions here in the second half?
Yeah, there's not a happier guy in the stadium right now than Ben Roethlisberger after they failed that conversion attempt. But I'm expecting aggressive defense in Detroit, hopefully force another turnover while you still have a rocky Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, Roethlisberger coming off that interception, definitely looking to make up for the mistake that ended up not costing them, but I'm sure was a big talking point on the sidelines. On 1st and 10, it's a toss underneath to Martavis Bryant. Flag down on the play, and I think this is going to be another hold against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Back him up another 10 yards. It's going to bring up the old 1st and 20.
Couple penalties in a row now by this Pittsburgh offense. I wonder if the crowd might be getting to him.
Yeah, road game here in Detroit, never easy. Even though you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you've been in this situation before playing against the Detroit Lions. It never gets easier as Roethlisberger comes out, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. Roethlisberger dropping back to pass on 1st and 20. Looks down the middle. It is complete. And just like that, it's a 1st down. 1st and 20. No problem for Big Ben and the Pittsburgh offense. They're down to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, and the safety that goes for the interception when he probably should have went for the big hit to try to knock that ball loose.
Sometimes when you go for the big play, you get burned, and right there, a nice pass from Ben Roethlisberger to get them the 1st down. They're at the 36-yard line. 4 wide receivers out there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 over to the right, 1 to the left. Roethlisberger dropping back to pass on 1st and 10, looking over to the left side, trying to find Antonio Brown, who... Oh, I don't understand how he both didn't catch it and caught it, then didn't catch it again. He goes up for it, drops the ball, has another opportunity, and just can't come up with a big catch on the sidelines.
Yeah, that was a fluky play. 9 chances out of 10. Antonio Brown is taking that to the house, and he's doing one of his victory dances right now.
No victory dance there after that drop on the sidelines. Now 2nd and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bunch formation to the right. Antonio Brown alone on the left side. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield, and Bell's going to get the carry here right up the gut, and he's going to go down to the 41-yard line. Interesting note here, Kyle. We've seen Pittsburgh have success with Le'Veon Bell, but he only has 6 carries on the game. Are you surprised they're not focusing on the run game more?
I am very surprised, especially after the couple of late turnovers of Ben Roethlisberger. I would just be feeding Bell continuously right now.
3rd and 5. Roethlisberger dropping back to pass, looking to convert this 3rd down pass across his body. It is complete. It's another 1st down and more. He's up to the 40, makes a man miss, gets down to the 35-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger doing such a good job surveying the entire field and converting another 3rd down opportunity as Ben Roethlisberger doing it with his arm early in this game. And Jesse James able to come up with his 2nd catch, 2 catches for 47 yards for James. Roethlisberger loves using those tight ends. He really gives everybody an opportunity to come up with the big catches in this game. As Roethlisberger blitz coming up the middle, he dumps this off to Le'Veon Bell, who makes a man miss, and he gets into the red zone to the 19-yard line, and Bell showing how useful he can be, not only in the run game, but in the pass game.
Always one of the most versatile backs in the league, and he showed it right there. You can't just guard him on the run. You got to be wary of him coming out of that backfield to make a nice catch and run like that.
Roethlisberger in the shotgun, now inside the red zone, ball on the 19-yard line. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Bell in the backfield. Roethlisberger dropping back to pass. The rush comes, he gets it off. He finds, it looks like that's Eli Rogers with a catch at the 4-yard line. Another 1st down. And Kyle, in this game so far, it seems like apart from the 1 interception that was really a bad throw by Ben Roethlisberger, the Detroit Lions secondary cannot handle this Pittsburgh Steelers attack.
Yeah, and I would expect Pittsburgh to try running it in here, but Ben's been spreading it around so well that he's in a groove. I expect him to continue throwing.
1st and goal now from the 4-yard line. Pittsburgh in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. It's going to be a handoff to Bell, and Bell puts the ball on the ground, and it looks like it's picked up by the Lions. Is it? Yes, it is. The Detroit Lions with a huge turnover inside the 5-yard line, and the usually sure-handed Bell puts the ball on the ground. What a break for the Lions.
They actually hand the ball off to the backup running back who fumbles. What a turn of events.
Man, oh man, so you take Bell out of the game, you bring in the backup, he takes a carry and puts the old pigskin on the ground. Not what you want, and Kyle, now you're looking at, with that stop, Detroit now with a huge opportunity, but think about where they'd be if they just kicked the field goal at the end of the 1st half.
Yeah, they would be in a huge spot right now. Instead, they're looking to make this game into a 1-score lead instead of 2.
Toss out of the backfield to Theo Riddick. Riddick gets 8 yards on the play down to the 14-yard line. And all of a sudden, Kyle, this game looked out of hand. It was 21-0. Pittsburgh was completely in control. Now Detroit has the ball, an opportunity to cut it down to a 1-score game. It's amazing how these games can change so quickly. Here on NBL Live broadcast number 124, we appreciate each and every one of you out there tuning in and checking out this game, a rematch of the season 25 Super Bowl. The 2 commissioners going at it, the Steelers and the Detroit Lions. Stafford drops back to pass on 2nd and 2. He tosses it underneath to Golden Tate, who has another catch down to the 22-yard line, another first down for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Golden takes another reception in the one-on-one coverage there, takes a nice slant for a first down.
Ross Cockrell had an interception early in this game, couldn't stay with Golden Tate. And while we have a moment here in the third quarter, we want to give a big shout out to our graphic sponsor, web3ks.com. To do that overlay you see here on NBL Live and a ton of other graphics for us across the network. So if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to web3ks.com. They are the leaders in affordable graphic design. As Eric Ebron catches that and catches a huge hit from the secondary, gets 5 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 5 for the Lions, looking to make some noise here at home. The crowd getting back into this game.
Yeah, Ebron's had a couple nice catches in a row. Now I look for him to continue that success and hopefully he doesn't drop another big pass.
Yeah, Ebron struggled early in this game to hold on to the ball, looking to make some noise here in the second half and prove that he's a reliable target. It's a pistol formation for Matt Stafford. 2 wide receivers on the right side, 2 tight ends on the left on 2nd and 5. They're going to hand it off to Theo Riddick, who almost hit the hole, but a nice job breaking off of his block. That was T.J. Watt, the younger brother of J.J. Watt. And Kyle, I don't know about you, but he looked a lot like his older brother on that play.
Yeah, T.J. Watt, the former Badger, made a heck of a one-on-one play, shedding the blocker, making a tackle.
3rd and 5 now for Detroit, needing a conversion bad. It's going to be a shotgun formation for Matt Stafford. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Theo Riddick in the backfield. Stafford changing up the play as he surveys this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. As we Stafford dropping back to pass on 3rd and 5, steps up in the pocket, looks over the middle, and lucky that wasn't intercepted. Another dangerous throw. He was looking for Golladay, but it looked like he was a little late on that play, and the Lions cannot convert from the gift turnover for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Kyle, we may be looking back on this moment in time and saying that this was the decisive drive that got this game away from the Detroit Lions.
We very well could be, but it could be a lot worse if that defender made that catch. But then again, that's why he's on defense.
Yeah, he's probably not coming out on the offensive side of the ball at wide receiver, as that punt is taken down to the 24-yard line. Detroit now needing to do what not a lot of teams have done here in the NBL, and it's stop this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. We showed you in the pregame, folks, that Ben Roethlisberger, almost a 140 QBR to start the season. Undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, the only undefeated team left in the NBL. It's going to be Roethlisberger under center, 3 wide receivers out there, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. Ball is on the 24-yard line as Roethlisberger surveying the Lions defense. Lions needing a stop badly after they got that fumble in the last drive, couldn't convert, as this is complete to Antonio Brown, and Brown has space, and this is what happens. You can't give Antonio Brown any space to work with. He's into the end zone, and the Detroit Lions are looking up at the scoreboard and wondering what could have been as the Pittsburgh Steelers extend their lead. Now a 16-point game as we await this extra point. With a minute 16 to go, as it is up, and it is good. Pittsburgh extends their lead back to 17. And as you said earlier, Kyle, you cannot man up Antonio Brown in press coverage.
No, and initially it was pretty dang good man coverage until he made that break, and it was just pitch and catch for Big Ben and Antonio Brown like they've been doing for years.
31-14 Pittsburgh on top. Detroit now needing, I don't want to say a miracle, but needing one of those patented Matt Stafford 50-second touchdowns. As we're nearing the fourth quarter and Detroit's running out of time, their offense has been stifled by the Steelers' defense. Kyle, how impressed are you by the Pittsburgh Steelers at how well they've held Detroit at bay?
Well, I'm very, very impressed by their opportunistic defense. Usually you would count a team out right now, but we're talking about the Detroit Lions here. They're only down by 17. Third quarter, I wouldn't count them out just yet.
2 wide receivers out there for Stafford, rolling out to the left side on 1st and 10. It's a diving catch by Derek Ebron down to the 32-yard line. And while that was a nice catch by Ebron, Kyle, that was an inaccurate throw by Matt Stafford. He just lays that out a little easier. Eric Ebron's running up the sidelines. They have a lot more yards out of that play.
Yeah, maybe Stafford's still thinking about that last throw he made that was nearly picked off. I don't know.
2nd and 3 for the Lions. Pistol formation for Matt Stafford. 2nd and 3 as he drops back to pass. He's got a lot of time. He lobs this up, and I don't know what that throw was. Looked like a lame duck coming out of his hands. Maybe that one slipped. Here in the dome in Detroit Ford Field, that roof is covered. I don't know, maybe some air conditioning fluid has leaked from the ceiling, as that one did not look like a good throw from Matt Stafford.
Yeah, he could have put a little more on that, but if he would have put too much on it, there's a defender right between the ball and the quarterback that could have picked that off.
3rd and 3 now for the Lions. Stafford drops back to pass on 3rd down, looks over to the left side, and it's another interception, the second one of the day, and he's got a lot of room down the right side. Matt Stafford's not going to catch him. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense puts up even more points as they have blown this one open. They're up 37-14. We talked about how potent the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was, Kyle, but it's the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers who are standing tall today.
Yeah, and right now the offense and defense are both firing on all cylinders, showing us why they are the best team in the NBL right now.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are making that undefeated record stand up today as they've extended the lead to 38-14. What a job by the Pittsburgh Steelers here on the road. And Kyle, when I said that Detroit wanted the 50-second touchdown, they were hoping for the Lions to be the one scoring that quick touchdown, not the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Yeah, you might have confused them with that statement. I'm thinking they thought touchdown, didn't think it was going to go against them, though.
Yeah, that's totally my bad. I'm so sorry if we were confusing the Lions listening to this game. 38-14, Pittsburgh on top. Not over yet, folks. We got 42 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, and this Lions offense is potent, but they're going to need some scores and some scores quickly. We've seen some big comebacks, though, on NBL Live in the past. So on 1st and 10, it's a play action, and Stafford's going to go down. I think that's going to be a face mask, though. It is Lawrence Stample getting all up in the grill of Matt Stafford, so they get the gift 15 yards on that one, trying to set up the wide receiver screen. Kyle, but I'm looking at this game. Nothing looks comfortable on the Detroit side of the ball. Stafford doesn't look comfortable, but the play calling has not been very good early in this game.
Yeah, and the little bit of running they've actually done has been fairly successful, but it's a little too late to go back to that now. They're going to have to keep on trying to force the ball downfield, which is exactly what Pittsburgh wants.
Amir Abdullah takes the carry. He gets 5 yards on the play up to the 40-yard line as we're nearing the end of the 3rd quarter, 38-14. Pittsburgh exacting some serious revenge after losing to the Detroit Lions in last season's Super Bowl, the season 25 Super Bowl, which you can, of course, check out under our NBL Live archives here on the network, on the YouTube page. Just check it out. It was a great game, a very fun broadcast. You can check out any of our NBL Live broadcasts here on the YouTube channel. 2nd and 5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shotgun formation for Matt Stafford. He's got 2 tight ends on the right side of the field, 2 wide receivers over to the left. Now he's going to change it up. Split out everybody, so 1 to each side. 7 seconds and counting to go here in the 3rd quarter. Stafford drops back to pass on 2nd and 5. Looks over to the left side. It is complete to Golden Tate with a nice catch. So he's going to get down to the 41-yard line. That's going to take us to the end of the 4th quarter, or end of the 3rd quarter, into the 4th, with Pittsburgh up 38-14. Kyle, I know you have predicted the Lions to win this game, which, surprising, not going well. But even the game where you predicted Pittsburgh to win, did you see it being this big?
No, I did not. At the most, I thought Pittsburgh had a shot with their offense to go up 2 scores, but the score right now, I did not see coming at all.
38-14, Pittsburgh on top, empty backfield for Matt Stafford. 5 wide receivers, 3 over to the right, 2 to the left for Stafford. As we're at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and Detroit needing some help from the gods, the Angels in the end zone, as that one almost intercepted again. Matt Stafford, 16 of 29, well under his season passing completion percentage of 71%. He's just been, frankly, very bad in this game. He's missed some easy. He has been helped out by some drops, but a lot of the throws that have been incompletions have not been on the receivers. They've been on Matt Stafford, trying to throw into coverage. Trusting his arm maybe a little too much. Stafford drops back to pass on 2nd and 10. Looking for the corner out over on the left side, and that one thoroughly batted away into the sidelines. Going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Stafford's usually a master at picking apart that zone defense, but on that second to last throw, he almost gave away another interception. Very surprising to see Stafford rattled this early, this easy.
Yeah, and especially here at home, where usually the Lions are almost unbeatable inside Ford Field. The Lions just have been completely shell-shocked by this Pittsburgh Steelers team. It's 5 wide receivers once again for Matt Stafford. 3 over to the right side, 2 over to the left. Stafford changing the play as he surveys the defense. 5:51 and counting. Stafford drops back to pass. Looking over to the right side, and another pass that probably should have been intercepted. It's incomplete nonetheless. And now on 4th and 10, I think it's 4 down territory, Detroit needing points.
Yeah, and the most surprising part of this Detroit Lions offense is how Matt Stafford is struggling to stay above 50% completion percentage. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, he is now at exactly 50%, 16 of 32 in this game. And now needing a 4th and 10 conversion. Stafford draws back to pass. Got great blocking, looks over to the left side, and that one off target, and Pittsburgh is going to get the ball back. And Kyle, I say it over and over in these big games, I don't think the fat lady is singing because you can't do that until there's the triple zeros on the clock, but she's warmed up and behind the curtain ready to come out on stage.
Oh, she's warmed up and sounding pretty damn good if you ask me.
First and 10 for the Steelers. It's going to be the Le'Veon Bell show, I assume. After the backup fumbled the ball, I think they're going to probably keep it in the hands of Le'Veon Bell as he gets a couple there. We'll give him 1 yard. Niall Davis with the fumble earlier in the game as he came in, fumbled it on the 4-yard line, but the Pittsburgh Steelers will just continue to try to chew up as much clock as possible. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends for the Pittsburgh Steelers as Ben Roethlisberger switching up the play, bringing Martavis Bryant over, and Bryant's going to actually take the carry. Little jet sweep. He shakes off a tackler to get that extra yard. He gets up to the 43-yard line. Pittsburgh using the little bit of trickeration. Doesn't get any yards, though. Going to bring up a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and a pretty nice power move by the wide receiver, running the ball like a running back there. I'm impressed.
Yeah, Bryant is a big, strong dude. He may not look as big as some of the powerful running backs here in the NBL, but he has that ability to shake off tackles. Now a 3rd and 9. 4 wide receivers, 3 over to the right, 1 to the left. Bell in the backfield is on 3rd and 9. It's a drop play to Le'Veon Bell, who gets a block. He gets a first down and absolutely shook Darius Slay. Slay came in for the big hit, and he looked silly on that one as Le'Veon Bell able to get the first down.
That was an electric run, making multiple defenders miss. One of the best running backs in the league on display in NBL Live tonight.
I don't know about you, Kyle. I think I pulled a muscle watching that juke move. That one hurt, and I'm sure that Slay's not going to want to see that one tomorrow in the film room as Roethlisberger in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Even dropping back to pass on 1st and 10, tosses it underneath to Eli Rogers. He's got a couple yards up to the 37-yard line. This Pittsburgh Steelers offense, they've proved a lot today. Probably less than we thought, though, Kyle. This hasn't been an offensive game for the Steelers. Their defense has been doing most of the work.
Yeah, but I am pretty impressed that they're still maintaining a balanced offense, throwing the ball late in the game with a big lead like this. Kudos to their offensive coordinator.
2nd and 5. It's a handoff to Bell right up the middle. Bell's going to get to the 34-yard line. Le'Veon Bell, what a stat line. 9 carries, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is a great candidate for an NBL Live Player of the Game, folks. We'll pick that at the end of this game. And you can check out the archives of all of our Player of this Game selections over on our website. That's at 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Also under the Join tab, you can apply to join the NBL's Development League, The Grid, and one day get a chance to play here in the NBL. The waiting list is growing as we speak, so if you're at all interested in getting in the NBL, apply on our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. 3rd and 2, it is a handoff, and it is a first down. Niall Davis didn't fumble that one. He gets the first down to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see the backup running back finally in, and he should finish this game out to protect the health of their star running back.
Yeah, the one thing that could put a big damper on this game if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers is an injury here late in the 4th quarter as we're down under 3:10 to go. If it's your first time joining us, game's not quite over yet. NBL rules state you can't kill the clock until under the 2-minute warning, so if you're wondering why you don't see that chew clock on and the clock running down, you can't do it until under the 2-minute warning as Le'Veon Bell not able to get anything go. Tahir Whitehead's first tackle of the day, he brings down Bell for no gain, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the clock keeps running, though, even though they are not running the clock. And this is looking like this game might be a wrap pretty soon here.
Yeah, the fat lady's definitely on stage now, and they're doing the sound check to make sure she's ready to go. 38-14, Pittsburgh on top. It's a handoff to Niall Davis right up the middle. He gets to the 22-yard line. Not quite a first down. They're going to call him just short. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Kyle, let me ask you this. Does this Pittsburgh Steelers team, with how you've seen them today, have a legitimate shot at going undefeated in the NBL this year?
Oh, the outcome of this game definitely shifts the power to the AFC, as the Lions were known as the best team in the NFC prior to this game. Power looks to be firmly in the AFC in Pittsburgh.
3rd and 1 for the Steelers. I formation. It's going to be handoff to Davis, who's going to have the first down. He gets the 20-yard line. Niall Davis with some garbage time carries. We're going to hit the 2-minute warning here in just a couple seconds. I think Detroit's just looking to get out of here without any injuries. Their dignity has been thoroughly stomped on as Pittsburgh has come in here and absolutely shellacked them. And let's go to the other side. What does this mean for the Detroit Lions, Kyle? Is this team not as good as we thought they were? Is this team still considered the powerhouse in the NFC? As that was a weird play. Can we talk about that for a second? Ben Roethlisberger, I think, was supposed to toss that and just didn't.
Yeah, a little confusion with the running back and quarterback there. I'm going to blame that on the backup running back not knowing what play was called.
But yeah, how good is this Detroit Lions team? I mean, they're going to get their second loss of the season. There are a lot of good teams over in the NFC. The New York Giants are sitting there at 5-2. The Bears, they're going to drop into a tie with the Chicago Bears at 5-2. The Carolina Panthers, of course, at 5-2. Is it just a logjam at the top? Are the Lions no longer the clear favorite in the NFC?
They're definitely one of the favorites, but this defense from Pittsburgh was on another level tonight. These two teams are a lot closer than the score would suggest, but Pittsburgh is on another level than the entire league right now.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule as they go on a bye. A couple interesting games. Week 11, they play the 5-2 Tennessee Titans. That should be a fun matchup. Two owners that know each other very well, as the Tennessee Titans owned by our very own Sonny Weaver, as Detroit used their final timeout here. They're going to get the ball back one more time as Pittsburgh's going to kick a field goal. That should be a fun game, Kyle, though. Titans and Steelers week 11. We know Sonny and Lip know each other well, and Lip has said over and over how much he owns Sonny Weaver, but Weaver, now the owner of the Tennessee Titans, it's a new ball game.
It is a new ball game, but I expect a familiar result with the previous years of Lip dominating.
A couple other interesting games on the schedule. Week 15 for the Steelers, they face off against the New England Patriots, and Kyle, I think their undefeated season might come down to Week 17, though, against those Cleveland Browns owner Z-Star has sort of figured out. They lost early in the season. Week 1, the Browns lost to the Steelers, but Week 17, you never know what will happen with those Browns-Steelers matchup. Could be a huge rivalry in the AFC North.
That's a very good prediction. The Cleveland Browns might be the dark horse of the AFC. A young team, a lot of talent, still building. They get better and better each week. I would second that. I think Week 17, 16-1 record sounds pretty good.
First and 10 for the Detroit Lions. 5 wide receivers. Looks like they're setting up a little wide receiver screen over to the outside for Marvin Jones. And even though the Steelers' coverage backed off, they were still able to bring down Marvin Jones for a loss of 1. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 11. And Matt Stafford, how rare is it to see Matt Stafford with not only below a 70% completion percentage, he's almost below a 50% completion percentage. 17 of 33. Just marginally above that 50% marker as he was able to complete that one over to Marvin Jones. But 2nd and 11, the Lions have been completely stifled by this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Stafford comes out, pistol formation. 2 tight ends on the right side of that formation. 2 wide receivers over to the left. Stafford dropping back to pass on 2nd and 11. He finds Golden Tate over the middle, who has a first down. Little stutter step, but that allowed the other 7 Pittsburgh Steelers to catch up to Tate, bring him down to the 45-yard line. It's a first down.
Yeah, I think that move was a little unnecessary, as Golden Tate definitely had the speed on that defender, but just trying to run the clock out here, I think.
We're down under a minute to go, folks. Again, stick with us to the end of the game. We'll have that player of the game selection, as well as we'll show you the NBL live schedule so you can see what's upcoming on the NBL network as Stafford drops back to pass on 1st and 10. Looks over the middle. He finds Golden Tate once again. And Golden Tate has been the one bright spot, Kyle, for this entire game for the Detroit Lions. He has been big, come up with some huge catches, and has kept Detroit in this game at times.
Yeah, I think I remember him missing maybe one tough catch, but every other pass that's been thrown at him, he's came down with it. He's a great receiver for this Detroit Lions.
Down at 30 seconds to go. Jones coming in motion. Stafford dropping back to pass on 1st and 10. He tosses it to the outside. It's Theo Riddick with the catch. He'll go out of bounds at the 28-yard line, stopping the clock at 24 seconds. And where has, I mean, again, we talk about, you want to overreact and say, where has this drive been for the Detroit Lions? Pittsburgh is just letting them do what they want. They're up 41-14. So no surprise that Detroit's able to move the ball now, as Pittsburgh's not really trying to pressure them whatsoever. 2nd and 4 for the Lions. He's going to drop back to pass. And he's going to look to the end zone, and that one thoroughly overthrown, almost intercepted, couldn't get his feet in bounds. He missed that one, Kyle, by a good couple balls. That one nowhere close to the receiver.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's playing some prevent defense right now. Detroit Lions are just trying to build some confidence for next week.
The Lions going to look to bounce back. I always feel bad for the team that has to face off against the Detroit Lions a week after a loss. They are so good after the loss, and they play angry. As Stafford drops back to pass here on 3rd and 4, he finds Jones underneath. It's a first down, and he's going to get out of bounds at the 18-yard line. 13 seconds to go. The clock is stopped.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I feel bad for Detroit Lions' next opponent. Have you ever remembered seeing the Detroit Lions of NBL lose 2 in a row?
No, never. And the Lions next week, not only face off against a team that I think the Lions want to say that they own, but they face off against a division rival. They face off against the Green Bay Packers next week at Lambeau. I think the Lions are going to come into that game with an extra chip on their shoulder as they look to avenge this loss. This one they're going to want to forget about. 1st and 10 for Matt Stafford. Dropping back to pass, looking into the end zone, throws it into, those are 5 jerseys. That's quintuple coverage, and none of them could come up with the interception. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Kyle, the question I'm most interested in is, how does Bomber talk about this game on the next episode of BTF Detroit Lions?
I'd be afraid to ask about it personally. He's got to be pretty steamed about this, the way his team played tonight. But look to rebound by then, and I'm thinking a next week win over the Packers will help that feeling a little better.
2nd and 10 for Stafford. Riddick in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers for the Lions. 8 seconds to go, looking for a touchdown for prosperity, maybe a little bit of respect. As Stafford in the pocket, looking. He's going to take off. 1 second, the clock is going to run out, and that's going to do it for us, folks. Your final score: the Pittsburgh Steelers thump the Detroit Lions, 41-14 in Detroit. Not something I thought I would see today. As now we get to have our pick for the NBL Live Player of the Game. And again, you can check out the archives of our Player of the Game selections over on our website at 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Roethlisberger had a great game, 11-14 for over 200 yards and a touchdown. For me, Kyle, I don't know about you, my Player of the Game selection has to go to Le'Veon Bell. That early touchdown set the tone for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were able to coast past that.
Yeah, he had a heck of a supporting crew from that offensive line, but after he got past that initial front 7, he did what he wanted to the linebacking core and the secondary, and hats off to him, as I agree with the player of the game being Le'Veon Bell. Yeah,
Le'Veon Bell, your player of the game selection here for broadcast number 124. And again, all of our archives are under the NBL Live tab on our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Before we get out of here, let's throw up that NBL Live schedule and let you know what's coming up Saturday night. Kyle, an interesting matchup between 2 teams that I think both people have high expectations for, actually. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are sitting there at 5-2. The Baltimore Ravens are at 3-3, but a team that most people think are better than their 3-3 record says, who do you like in that game between 2 teams looking to prove how good they are?
I'm going to lean towards the Baltimore Ravens for one reason only. They're a balanced offense and defensive team, smart with the football, don't turn the ball over, but get plenty of turnovers with their defense, and playing against a team that likes to pass quite a bit, I'm going to have to go with Baltimore Ravens.
Should be a great game again. 7 o'clock Eastern time, folks, on Saturday night. That's right, will be your warm-up for the primetime college football matchup. So come to the network Saturday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Hit that subscribe button so you know when we are live. But we're going to get out of here, folks. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning into NBL Live. For my co-host, Kyle the Flat Killer, Matt Miller, I'm OSU. Your final score, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the Detroit Lions 41-14. We'll see you Saturday night right here on NBL Live.